Welcome to the Recession Proof Investing series, where we have top experts sharing tips and strategies on how to level up your finances and master your money in a post pandemic world. My name is Keisha Bailey. I'm the CEO of Profit Jumpstarter, and today I have with me Lori Souza. Thanks for joining me, Lori.
Thanks for having me, Keisha. I'm glad to be here.
So, Lori, please share with the audience more about your background and the work that you do.
Well, first of all, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. And I am the reason why I was invited because of my cryptocurrency expertise and alternative assets investing. And so I've been working, doing consulting and advising and providing education in the areas of cryptocurrency investing and the blockchain technology that comes with it. And so how one could actually get involved with markets that are running 24/7 and what I like to call the future of money. So it's an exciting time in the industry and lots of changes are happening and lots of adoption with mainstream financial funds are actually incorporating cryptocurrency, onboarding different funds for their investors. And yeah, we're just at the very beginning. So it's a good time. It's a good time. Yeah. So
Awesome.
thanks for having me here.
Yeah. So COVID was a very tough time for investment assets. I think a lot, if I'm not too, yeah, I think basically all asset classes, except for probably real estate, took hits, and some real estate in some areas definitely took a hit to the downside. And so when we think about alternative assets and your work, how has your performance, I guess the performance of the assets and for your clients and yourself, how has that been with COVID?
Well, so the alternative assets that I specialize in, I actually do real estate investing and cryptocurrency investing.
Oh, okay.
Both of those are considered alternative assets.
Right.
And so today we have IRAs where individuals can put their funds in self-directed IRAs where they can invest in real estate and they can invest in cryptocurrency with a custodian holder so they can feel good about somebody taking care of those for them. And the reason why I mentioned that is both of those arenas did very well during COVID. And so we've seen incredible increases up to 50%. And pre-COVID, both real estate and cryptocurrency had, well, both of them have had gains of over 50% during COVID. And so why is that happening? Well, I think a lot of people see with the mainstream financing that we have and all of the stimulus packages that have been given to the population, we see printing and printing of more and more dollars. And what that is doing is it's devaluing our dollar. So how do we recession proof our dollar? Well, a lot of people, and they have been for some time now, move money over into either real estate or over into the new alternative asset, which is cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency has seen over 5,000% gains since its inception. Now it's a fairly new asset. It's only been around for 12 years, but quite frankly, it hasn't been taken serious since until about 2017, when we started to see a lot of other industries come on board and a lot of ecosystems created around cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. So those have, we know they're futuristic, and it can sound like we're flying off on a spaceship sometimes, but with the future of money, it's digitized. We're already used to using digital currency with everything being online now. We're really getting used to digitizing. I don't know, you know, you can think back, all the listeners, When was the last time you actually held money in your hand? You know, and a lot of people during COVID weren't allowed to go into the banks. The banks were actually shut down. So people didn't, and a lot of stores didn't even accept cash anymore in the United States. There were signs on a lot of retail stores that said no longer accepting cash.
Yeah.
And that was for two reasons. One of them, people didn't want to get the germs that were on the bills.
True. Yep.
Because money's the dirtiest thing there is, right?
Yes.
And then the other thing is, you know, there was a shortage of coins and there was a shortage. And so it wasn't good because it was hard to get to the bank to bring in your cash and deposit it. So now we have cryptocurrency. It's a new technology that allows individuals to exchange their dollars or their home currency for cryptocurrency. It's not owned by any country, and it is a global opportunity for investing in a global or international payments, remittances. I can send money anywhere in the world, and it'll be there within 10 minutes with cryptocurrency. There's no wire fees. Yeah, so it makes transacting easier, and it makes the world a little smaller.
And then from an investment perspective, how does one invest in cryptocurrency? I think for real estate, it's a bit more straightforward because we're used to it. We know either you buy a house or you buy REITs or so forth. But for crypto, how exactly does one buy that investment?
And that's a really good point, because real estate is a hard asset. We can actually touch it. We can see it. It's tangible.
Yeah.
So when we look at cryptocurrency, it's intangible. We can't see it. It's just numbers on a screen. So it's digital currency. How does a digital currency have value? Well, basically you're buying into the future of money. Okay. It is a program. Okay. It's a running program, and the program is captured in a digital ledger. So your digital ledger, your money is on a digital ledger that never goes away. It stays forever. You can always go back and look at your digital transaction on the digital ledger. I could look at my transactions from 5 years ago. And so it's all numbers, though. It's not bank names. It's not corporations. It's all a digital program that's continually running and increasing in value as it goes. And now think about what our kids are going to do and our grandkids are going to do. They're never walking into a bank. They already use their cell phone for everything. And so why not use the cell phone for transacting? I mean, one easy way to invest is to download Cash App. Cash App, you can put your dollars on Cash App. It has a QR code. You can convert dollars to Bitcoin.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
That's a nice, quick and easy way. Yeah.
It makes it very easy. Yeah. And that's through Square, which is owned by Apple. So we already see Apple that's investing, my goodness, what was I reading? 18,000 Bitcoins they're purchasing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So. And then I've noticed also in the news that that there are some companies now accepting Bitcoin for payment. Yes. And also thinking of bringing on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies onto their platform. So for sure, adoption is happening.
Adoption is happening. So why is it a good investment? A lot of people hear the mainstream news and say, oh, Bitcoin plunged, it crashed. Oh, Bitcoin went up, it went down. Well, anything that's new that's introduced into the market is volatile. Just think about, what was it? Talking Elmo, which was a stuffed animal back in the 90s. And those flew off the shelf when everybody found out about it. The same thing with cryptocurrency. Anything that's new is going to take time for adoption. So we're in the early adoption phase. Once we get into the mass adoption phase, then the values are going to increase quite a bit. And then there's so much more that goes with that. It allows for us to have, as an international community, financial inclusion. Because it is worldwide, it gives possibilities for so many more people. Whereas the dollar, if you want more dollars, you have to print more dollars. With cryptocurrency, it's fractionalized, meaning
Oh,
we're taking advantage of the decimal places. So with the dollars, we can go as small as 1 cent. We have 10 cents and 1 cent,
so
but
you can't break it.
you can't break it down any more than that. But
Yeah,
with cryptocurrency, you can break it all the way down to 0.000111222 as far as you want to go. And so
that's
then
pretty.
that brings in, even if somebody has just a little bit, you can transact with that.
Oh, that's interesting. I did not
Yeah.
know that. That's
Yeah.
good. And
It's
so
fractionalized money.
that's definitely the future for sure.
Yes. Yes.
And as we think post COVID and this new normal, I find that we're gonna have to get used to uncertainty. And so it's important then that with our investments, we start thinking more creatively than we did pre-COVID. So could you
Oh, yeah.
share some tips and strategies that you think in the whole alternative asset space? What can persons start doing today to level up their finances and be better with their investments from an alternative asset perspective?
Well, I would give advice to anybody that is looking into the future of creating wealth for themselves to invest in cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin. How can you do that? There's many different platforms, which I would love to share with you. And that's a lot of consulting that I do is help people understand who is good and who's bad, who are the players and what are the
Mhm.
platforms that are actually working and what are the ones to watch out for that are scammers, because there's a lot of scammers out there too with any field. But
Yeah.
there's one called crypto.com. There's one called blockfi.com. I can give referral codes for those so you can get discounts or you can actually get free Bitcoin. But start out with just $25, $50. Just
Hmm.
try it, just like opening up your very first savings account. Coinbase.com is another one that's pretty mainstream. And
Yeah.
then internationally known as Binance.com, which
Yeah.
is not allowed in the United States, but in most other countries it is. These are places where you can purchase. They're called exchanges. Just like you go travel internationally, you go to the currency exchange counter and you're exchanging your currency at the counter. That's exactly what these exchange companies are doing. They're exchanging your dollars or your home currency for cryptocurrency. And guess what? It's the same value worldwide. So Bitcoin is the same price no matter where you go
Hmm.
worldwide. And so there is no currency conversion as far as once people have already converted into Bitcoin, you can transact Bitcoin to Bitcoin or even, 100th of a Bitcoin or a
Yeah.
millionth of a Bitcoin. And
The
so
fractionality. Yeah.
yeah, fractionalized money. So what I would advise is to start an account. Just get started. If it's scary for you, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you about how it is. I'll hold your hand through the process because it is very different. It's
Yeah.
intangible. We can't see it. But you can trust it. And that's what we like about the transactions. It's a trustless transaction because we're not relying on a middleman to transact, to take our money and give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
We're no longer relying on bankers. We can actually just transact from direct consumer, buyer to seller. And
That's
it
good.
makes it a trustless, they say, transaction. So I
Yeah.
would study about cryptocurrency. There's a couple other platforms I can share with you. I'll share links with that you can actually start some accounts. Also, I am a firm believer in real estate because what are you going to do after you make all this money in cryptocurrency? Listen,
Your dream house. Yeah.
one Bitcoin right now is only about 31 or 32,000. Okay, I say only because it went all the way up to 58 at one
Yeah.
time. But still, a year ago, pre-COVID, it was only 7 or 8,000. So we have a triple, even though the mainstream news says it's gone down, it's crashed. We're 3 times the amount that we were pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And
It's all relative. That's a really good
a
point
year from
because
now, when it's a
pre-COVID
hot,
stuff. Yeah. That's
yeah,
interesting.
well, a year from now, it's going to be 150,000. So
Yeah.
who wouldn't invest in it? Because in the future, as more people adopt it, as more fund managers then we have the opportunity to actually park our money in there, just sit on it and wait for the future to, sorry, I don't know if my internet just went out a little bit, and wait for the future to, catch up,
Yeah.
and then we'll have more money in the future. Now, take some of those profits and buy real estate. Take some of those profits, buy a car. Take some of those profits and, use them for, but you don't, if you don't need to, don't, because your future value is going to be worth so much more in cryptocurrency than the dollar.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the dollar's just being printed. We've had 8 trillion. Yeah, $8 trillion printed in the last year.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Printing is expensive. A lot of persons don't know that printing money is an expensive business. And so I feel even central banks are going to be moving to using digital currencies eventually too, which drives that whole adoption, right?
Oh, absolutely. So El Salvador announced that they're going to use Bitcoin as legal tender. We have Colombia and Panama and Mexico are also discussing it, Uruguay. And then we had Europe actually announce a while ago, but mainstream announcements yesterday that they're looking at the digitized digital euro. And we also are looking at the digital dollar as well. So
yeah,
so they're hopping on board this new financial technology.
It is for sure. That's happening. Even little Jamaica, where I'm at, we're piloting our digital currency rollout right now. So
yeah,
for sure, adoption is happening.
Yeah, and Jamaica is the island that is accepting Bitcoin in the future. It is a new technology. So it's almost like we're going into the future, like Jetsons and the flying cars, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And any one of the women in crypto that is one of the women in crypto experts I work with, she said all sci-fi books have digital money. None of them have paper money.
True. Very true. It's happening. It's coming. So you mentioned that persons can find you, and I'm sure people want to know, how do we find you, Lori? Because I can anticipate you're going to be getting a lot of emails and calls for persons interested in getting more into alternative assets.
Well, thanks for asking. What I'd like to offer your listeners is a free consultation. So what I like to do is for 45 minutes, we'll sit down over a Zoom and we'll have a consultation on what your goals are. I like to call it the dream budget. So we sit down with a dream budget. What are your goals? And then how much money would you want to put away every month? And then I can actually show them how to set up a cryptocurrency account so that it will work with their dream budget.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, it could start as little as $5 a month,
That's pretty interesting. Yeah. Because a lot of persons
today.
Yeah. A lot
Ask
of persons.
yourself today.
Go ahead, sorry.
What is it that you can do today for your future self?
Oh, yeah.
And then it really makes your day a little bit more worthwhile. Like, okay, what am I doing today? Well, it's going to be something that my future self will benefit from.
That's powerful. And if we think that way, it makes us pile more into investing because we really want to make that future self as great as possible, right? So the more you do today, the better your future self will be. I love that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they can, I will offer that consultation, and my website is mydigitalgold.co. mydigitalgold.co. And I'll also provide the links to you as well to give to your listeners. And what I recommend anybody who's just starting out getting in investing, please don't ever give up on your dreams. When I was in my 20s and my 30s, I had a goal and I didn't see the end. I just kept my goal. I kept my dream. I kept it running. Everything. I continued to say affirmations. I continued to believe that it was going to happen. And today, honestly, I can look at my life and say, wow, I have created the life that I want. I've created the life through my diligence and investments and perseverance. And I didn't start with a lot. I started out just by investing from my paycheck. When I worked in manufacturing, I used to work on a manufacturing floor. I used to clean bathrooms for the high schools. And so,
Wow.
you know, wherever you are, start there and just put your money, a little bit of money away, 10 or 15% if you can. And that is your gift to your future self.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you,
I
Lori,
love
for
it too.
taking the time. Yeah, and it works. I'm sure it works.
And
So,
it does, it does. Yeah. And, you know, post COVID, we do have to get more creative, you know, and starting our business, working it online. A lot of people are investing in businesses as well. And that's the other recommendation I would say is invest in yourself, invest in your business, and your investments. Yeah. Your business is an investment.
yes, for sure. Well, thank you, Lori. This has been an amazing interview. I'm sure that our listeners found it quite useful and they will be reaching out to you to get more insights on alternative assets. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Keisha. Thank you for having me. You have a great day.